Back in 1984, Madonna came out with a hit called Material Girl. And in it she said that she was a material girl because she lived in a material world, that boys might want to hug and kiss her and plead with her. But it was the guy who had the cash that was Mr. Right. My friends, greed and covetousness did not begin with Madonna or end with her. It goes all the way back to the book of Genesis in chapter 3, when our ancient mother and father, Adam and Eve, lusted after and coveted fruit that had been forbidden to them. They saw this fruit and they said that it looked good for food, it was pleasing to the eyes, and it would make one wise. And so they partook of it. They lusted after it. And so God has forbidden us to be greedy or covetous, to try to acquire things and to find our significance in things. He wants us to find our significance in Him. He is our treasure. He is the one that we're to be pursuing and coveting if we're going to covet anything, the Lord God Almighty. I read a story one time about how they used to catch monkeys down in South America, where they would take clay jars that had a small opening in it. They would tie it off with a rope to a tree, or they would tie it off to a stake. But in the jar, they would put fruit and nuts and things like that as bait. And these monkeys would reach down in there with their hands, and they would get a hold of that, make a fist, and try to draw it out. And they couldn't get their hand out. And so they were captured then. These monkeys were so greedy that for them to be freed, they would have to release and let go of that which they so desired in order to be free, but they would not do it. What a great illustration that is for us today. How many of us are not all we could be, don't have the relationships that we ought to have, and will not come to God because we will not let go of some of the things that we have coveted and we have been greedy for and lusted after in our life. Jesus said over in Luke chapter 12 and verse 14 that we are to be on our guard, be aware of covetousness, because the things on this earth that a man possesses are not what his life consists of. So my friends, I hope that as you go through the day, that today you will have a good and godly day, and that you'll not be a material girl or boy, but that you'll be a spiritual guy or gal who will love the Lord and go hard after Him, and you'll be blessed.